Hi, everyone. Good day. My name is Raf from Make a Difference in the Philippines. Thank you for this opportunity. So, I'm here to brief you about the situation that we have on the ground and what we're encountering. So, just for context, I am an entrepreneur. I've been leading MAD for about 10 years now, and I'm well known in the sustainability space in the Philippines. Most of the things I do are related to sustainability in construction, in hospitality, and in education. And so, the story I want to share starts with this clip. This is a picture of a tribal leader talking to a large company. And in the discussion, the tribal leader says, Mr. Company, we want development, but development for us also means taking care of our soil and our water. These are two things that the Sustainable Development Goals usually are helping us to transition to. And many companies are unable to do that now, but we are in that transition. And part of that transition is also understanding the challenges of the weather. And our country is notorious for a lot of storms. In 2024, we had four storms simultaneously coming in, right? And not a lot of people understand that. And how do I know that? In our country, my dad is a doctor at the best hospital in the country. He was valedictorian in his younger years, science undergrad, and then completed his MD. When I asked him, Dad, do you understand the connection between climate change, the storms, high temperature, and carbon? He said, I don't, right? And I realized if the valedictorian and a science graduate at the best hospital can't understand climate change, then it is reasonable to believe that people who are less educated than him, meaning 95% of the population, would not understand as well. So I made this for him, right? And we know this, the sun heats the planet will reflect the sunlight that's not needed, and it uses the sunlight to grow everything green. However, the carbon and carbon equivalents in our um, sky reflect the heat back, right? And that reflected heat increases the evaporation. It changes how the water moves, right? Stronger wind, stronger waves, and then that water eventually comes down in the form of storms. And this 2025, we had three straight, and then two straight, and then two straight. So it keeps happening, right? And it's scared. Kids are scared. I'm scared. My vehicle last week just was submerged in a flood, and the flood rose within just 1 hour, right? And so when we map out where the carbon is, this is the representation of Stanford University of where the carbon is. So that's transport, our power, what we eat, protecting nature, which is what our company does a lot of. Cleaning up industry, that's how we build. And then the removed carbon is carbon that people from who have passed on have used, right? So, more local context. Our harvests are getting delayed because of the long dry seasons. Our ocean waters are heating, so we have less fish being produced. And then the heat index can hit as high as 60 degrees Celsius. That is absolutely unhealthy and terrifying, could kill people. And in our country, the forest was supposed to be one of our protectors against the heat, against the climate, but it has declined significantly over the last 100 plus years due to mining, unsustainable lumber, etc. And the lack of the forest uh, takes away the cooling mechanism of our mountain watersheds, right? And so in our cities, which are more like the picture below, it's very hot. And we're in a tropical country. We wish we had more trees, right? And for our farmers, it's causing heat that kills crops, right? And we have no solution. It keeps happening, right? No matter what technology we use. And the storms are a lot stronger as well, right? This is what it might look like already. And our flooding is crazy. It is costing us a lot of money, a lot of productivity. Now we're pushing for planting of trees, and so each tree can hold as much as 2,000 liters of water for the big ones, and that's how it's distributed. And the trees have effects on river water. So you see here, these two rivers, they used to have 2,000 liters per minute flow. And then in the 2000, 50 years later, it's only 500 liters per minute flow. So 75% of their water was reduced, right? And that can be seen in this particular video, right? So in this video, they are watering two boxes. Box A has, on the left, has no plants. Box B on the right has plants. Watch how the water behaves in two boxes. So on the left, it's flowing from the top. It's dirty. It's bringing the soil with it. So that's a landslide. That's a flash flood. That's a mudslide. That's flood, right? On the right side, the water is coming out, but from the bottom pipe, and it's slow and it's clean. So that is flood control. That's water management. That's the watershed. And when they stop watering the boxes, the water continues to flow on the right box, meaning that's your river, that's your waterfalls, that's your stream. Meanwhile, on the left box, there's no more water flowing. And so that's how you have drought and lack of water in farms, right? So it's also affected the price of our rice. The lack of free irrigated water is approximately 9 pesos per kilo extra, or about 20 cents, 20 US cents per kilo of rice more expensive, right? And so we get to the community that we're working on. You see their mountains are very bare. It's brown because it just burned. This is Yangil in the town of San Felipe in the province of Zambales. And our goal here is to restore the rainforest, right? It's 4,000 hectares worth of ancestral land. And we started with a tour because we didn't have a lot of money. We're a small company. So we used the tour to fund the reforestation. And on that tour, people would trek. If they didn't want to trek, they could rent a Carabao cart and then take a walk, ride on that. It's a 5-kilometer walk one way, so 10 kilometers round trip. And then when they get to the village, there's a cultural immersion. So there's archery, right? There's a herbal medicine sharing. And then we coach the community to produce food that is restaurant level, al fresco dining style, right? And then there's dancing and planting, which is really, planting is the reason for being of this particular program. Now, after our first successful tour, we're supposed to pay the chieftain about, I would say, 60 US dollars, right? And chieftain, instead of taking the money, and that money, it takes him about a month to get, they got it in a day. He said, don't pay me, which shocked me. So I thought to myself, chieftain has not finished primary school. He has no running water, no electricity, and no job. Why is he declining my money? So I asked him, chieftain, why don't you want the cash? And he said, sir, if you give me money, I might spend it on cell phone credits, on 3-in-1 coffee, or on cigarettes. And that's not sustainable for my community. So I scratched my head. I'm like, so chieftain, what do you want? I have to pay you because we built this program so you could work and earn money with dignity, right? Teaching a man to fish, so to speak. And so chieftain says, look behind you. Look at our ancestral land. It is so big, but it is empty. If you are serious about helping us, please bring us seeds, because seeds we will plant. And even if someone steals the seeds, the thief will plant the seeds, and the youth in my town will benefit from that. And so here was chieftain, uneducated by all city standards, teaching my whole team about sustainability and regeneration. And that helping people didn't necessarily mean money. It also meant other currencies like seeds. And so what we did after was we got seeds, right? And here's the story of what happened. 2017, started planting there on the left side down in Mayo. 2020, you could see the trees starting to grow. 2024, we ended with 62,000 trees. That's the view of the entire ancestral domain that we need to maintain. The whole thing is funded initially by tours, by visitors, and if they're inspired, they generally add a little more money and donate to us. We're headed here. So apart from working on the rainforest, which was really needed in our country, we also had to work on the livelihood of the communities because some members were like, "Sir, there's money for the environment, but we've been poor for the past 3, 4 decades. There's no money for people. Can you help us?" And so what we did is we started investing in the green economy, looking for ways in which they could take care of the land, make it better, but also earn from it, right? Better environmentally, better economically. So here are the interventions. So the money that chieftain declined, we used it to go to a convent, and that convent gave us a lot of seed of purple yam, right? And that purple yam was grown, we turned it into chips, and it served guests until today. And this one is our starting nursery. You can see a lot of our guests are the ones planting, and then things started to grow. The nice thing about the trees is they provide shade, and we measured 13 degrees Celsius cooler than without shade. And the trees have flowers. The flowers bring insects such as bees, and these bees bring honey, another product which is sold today by the community, and we resell it in the city as well. In other areas where there was some forest, we went straight into fruits, vegetables, right? So you can see here we're monitoring during COVID, and then some farms have already papaya, they've got citrus, right? We also started planting bamboo, right? Knowing that it would be industrially useful, and within 5 years, they started turning the bamboo into bamboo stars, a parol, which is something we have every year as we celebrate Christmas. And then the last was cashew. So our country imports a lot of cashew from China, Vietnam, Cambodia, India. And so we picked up seeds of cashew falling from different trees, planted it, and in 2021, the community started selling cashew, right? And some of the processors of the cashew turned it into cashew butter. So cashew is a growing and potentially huge industry for them as well, right? So these are the cashews growing over time, right? We started planting a lot in COVID. We've got about 50,000 cashew to date. And you can see this was the 2017 versus 2024. No water in 2017, but now with the extra trees, there's a lot of water. And we really want to build a more sustainable future for them. No? However, we did encounter some challenges in the last couple of years. Wildfire, right? And we lost a lot of trees to the wildfire. And so this is a video of what happens in our ancestral domain during the rainy season and dry season. So this guy, he's trying to get rice for his family, but the river's 8 feet deep. And then 6 months later, same river, but no more water, and then it's burning all over. So you can see flood and fire. So it's an unhealthy ecosystem. So when we researched, we found that this area keeps burning. What's in it? A lot of dried grass, which happens every year. And our solution became turning the grass into biochar, into solid carbon through a pyrolysis process. You can use a small metal cooking apparatus like that, or we can get bigger ones, right? And it's a carbon negative process. So a nice thing about the biochar is that it holds water. You can see here. They poured the same amount of water into the same amount of same vase, but one has biochar, the other doesn't. The biochar can hold up to 5 times its weight in water. And the holding capacity of biochar allows it to help plants grow much faster. This middle plant that has access to biochar is more than twice as tall as the ones on the fringes or the left and right side. And this is the tool equipment that we use for biochar now. That's the community training on making biochar. And you can see here on the left, that's a bad burn, a forest fire, right? All the smoke, all that black smoke is carbon. And then this video is how we make biochar. Look at the smoke. It's clean. It's white. So a lot of the black is trapped and we have it in solid form. That's the solid carbon that turns into biochar. And that's what also gives it the carbon negative ability, right? So we're making biochar, and they can also turn it into briquettes, right? With the right equipment, although we need more of that. And the biochar can be mixed into paint because it also reduces the heat that is absorbed by the metal, right? And the other thing is this is a community testimonial. It says, "Sir, I put biochar on my coconut tree. He he he. Look at my citrus tree. It's flowering very well. Even if it's hot, it's alive." Right? Um, some other things we are exploring is to plant giant bamboo as well, right? So that the community can sell stuff like this, right? And contribute to that kind of industry. And our latest photo, this 2025, the tree layer is getting thicker even at the top. And we're ending the year with 129,000 trees planted. And that's a lot of trees, right? Now, people don't take care of what they don't understand. And there are always people lighting fires in the area. There's wildfire, people trying to develop the land into different things. And this community that you're studying, that you're going to help, is a pilot community where our pillar of educational tours is there, where we handle school tours and corporate tours and some adventure tours. That's how we get our initial funding. The money goes to the ecosystem restoration, as you saw. And as the ecosystem gets better, the green economy, their products also get better. So those are the three pillars of MAD, right, that we implement in the community. And it is one of several communities that we work with, right, around the country, because many communities need this kind of help. And so we're very grateful for your presence. And that's why we have developed some problem statements that we need your support in, right? The first one is, how do we develop and monitor the land? It is huge, as you can see. And it's an income generating one, but monitoring such a large area is difficult. And so we're looking for methods, technologies, best practices, right? Right now, we only use basic cell phone photos to monitor the location. And some of our team members hike it several times a year, and we use Google Earth a lot. But Google Earth is only refreshed every 8 months or so, right? It's not as accurate. And we have the challenge of fire, illegal loggers, and we can't even monitor pests very well, right? This will be helpful as we scale the program to 16,000 hectares in the future. The other challenge we have that we need your support in is, how do we empower this community to use technology to build their economy better, as it is focused on organic agriculture and permaculture, where we're introducing fruit trees as well, so that it's not just a single kind of monocrop. We want them to have a more biodiverse area. So here we're open to all kinds of suggestions, and we do need the help. We're a small team. We are 5, 6 people full time, and we got 5 people part time. So there. Thank you, guys, and I hope this is helpful. We will give you guys the slides, and if you have questions, our email is there. Thank you very much, everyone.